Hey peeps, my name is Vortex aka the King Pun, and I have a bit of a different video for you guys today. I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 tips that I've learned for building throughout my many years of playing Minecraft. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to go from building something like this to building something more along the lines of something like this. The first tip I've got for any person who's doing this is make sure you pick your block palette. The most important part I think about building is knowing, first of all, what you're going to build, and second of all, what you're going to build out of. Now, for me, I like to use a good sort of mix of wood and stone for like a first layer if I was making a house, for example. And maybe I'd use wood, maybe some concrete for the second floor, and probably follow the rest up through. So make sure you pick your block palettes first before you start building to make sure you know what you're building from. The second thing that I want to show you guys is the 5x5 method, which is a way of building that I sort of picked up as I was sort of just playing the game, and it's what I use pretty much for the majority of my builds. I've used it for the house over there, I used it in my castle, I've used it in a lot of other builds, but basically what the whole premise is you put down a block, you leave a 3 gap between, and you put another block, and you can build it as high as you like, but then you connect at the top. This will basically allow you to build frameworks your builds, which will make your life a lot easier in the long run, believe me guys. Like, I use this all the time. But yeah, it can go 5x5, it could go 5x10 upwards if you wanted to, but the main premise is you stay within a 5x5, but also you can do, technically speaking, as many of these going along as you want to get the correct size of build that you want. My third tip for you all is to make sure you add depth to your builds. Adding depth basically will make your build just look a lot more interesting in the long run, but can also give you just some very nice looking shapes to builds, because I know that obviously having the whole just flat wall sometimes might be a bit boring for most. So you can always go and add more depth by giving it another wall behind it, or putting another, well, exactly just another layer of depth. Tip number 4, use variations. With things like stone, there are so many different types of blocks that you can use and merge together to make just a more interesting wall in general. For example, you can use stone bricks and mossy stone bricks. You can use andesite, you can use cobblestone, normal stone is another good one, but if you mix them all together, this is sort of an example of what they could look like. And you can do this in a number of builds. This doesn't just have to be for like house walls or anything. You could use them in castles, you could use them in caves. Caves are very good for having some texture variation going. Okie dokie, tip number 5, do not be afraid to detail, or DAD for short. You can use things like stairs, leaves, trapdoors, and vines and walls to add details to your build, just to give it more depth and sort of just make it look more interesting in general, really. Like, for example, I've used leaves here, or sort of like bushes along the sides of the houses and along the side of the walls and windows. I have used stairs on the bottom and tops of sort of the windows to give them sort of like a windowsill sort of feel. I have given sort of some grass blocks here with some trapdoors down the side to give sort of like little planters. I've even used some fences and some lanterns to sort of make it just look a little bit nicer and actually give some light to the build. But there are sort of small little things that you can do around your builds, which everybody's different. You can do it whichever way you like. You don't have to follow my methods. You can just figure out your own way as you go. But adding detail to a build, I think, is very important when it comes to just making it feel natural and looking good. Well, I'm going to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips helped you. And if you like what you see, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you thought down below, and if there's anything you want to see me try and build in future, feel free to like that down in the comments below as well. All links in the description. I'll see all you loyal subjects in the next one. Take it easy, guys.